Hello ladies and gents, today I'm going to talk about why the Steam clients cannot be rivaled. Both Microsoft and Epic, as well as others, have been trying really hard to get some of that Valve market share, but they have all failed. Sure, their own first-party games are doing well on their own clients, but third parties seem to be only thriving on Steam. Also, the only reason first-party games are doing well on these alternative clients is because they are not available on Steam. Epic has been giving away games for free for half a decade now, and yet it doesn't seem to be working. I myself have claimed dozens of games on the Epic Game Store, and I have played none of them. And if you're wondering why I've only claimed dozens of games and not more, is because at some point I gave up claiming games. These games have no sentimental value to me. I mean, what's the difference between pirating a game and getting it for free on Epic? Speaking of piracy, let's talk about this quote from Gaben. We think that there is a fundamental misconception about piracy. Piracy is almost always a service problem and not a pricing problem. You can read the rest of the quote on the screen. And also, I'll have to agree with this guy. The only way to fight piracy is to provide the better service than the pirates. And that is exactly what Valve has done over the years. By creating Steam, Valve has created such a powerful client that playing games outside of Steam feels pointless. Let's talk about some of these features. Forum, guides, fan art section, reviews, commenting and reacting to reviews, which encourages people to write even more reviews. All of these adds sentimental value to your Steam account, and this sentimental value trickles down to everything you own on the account. For some of you, account progression, which leads to leveling up your Steam account, may not have major value, but to a lot of people it does, and you need to respect that. People care about these things. You may have noticed that I didn't even mention achievements and cloud saves and some of the other features. That's because the rival platforms do have these features, although I have to say that the Steam version of achievements is still better. Steam encourages engagement in every corner of its client. It's almost like a social media, and it's a bit surprising that the rival platforms have not attempted to build up this infrastructure. Well, now that I think about it, it's not surprising at all, because now it's too late. Let's talk about the too late phenomenon. Once a service attracts a large number of people towards itself, and it makes these people too comfortable to leave, it becomes too late for any other company to come in and take those people away. It creates a catch-22 situation, where others use the service, so you have to use the service, and others use the service because you use the service. One of the greatest examples of this is Windows. Many have stated that Linux is superior to Windows in many ways, but people still use Windows because all the software is on Windows, and developers won't make software for Linux because all the users are on Windows. And yes, I'm aware of Wine and Proton, but that's not good enough for the average user, is it now? Same can be said with a lot of other services. Valve has kind of done the same thing. Why would you leave Steam when the library, friends, account status, all the achievement history and trading cards are on this platform? Microsoft and Epic not only have to rival the idea of making a better service than piracy, but they also have to make a service better than Steam, which is better than piracy. And they are not doing a very good job of making a service that is better than piracy. Funny thing is that Steam could have been stopped in its tracks by the one and only Microsoft, if Microsoft had done something about it sooner. Steam became popular because Microsoft did not have a good pre-installed storefront for games on PC. And even what they have today is still bad. But if the built-in Windows Store that exists in Windows 10 and 11 today also existed in Windows 7, maybe Valve would have never bothered with the idea of turning their client into a third-party distribution platform that it is today. By winning the battle of operative systems, Microsoft lost the war. A great deal of pre-installed Windows applications have been replaced by third parties throughout the years. The most surprising one for me was Google Chrome. When I was young and first found out about Google Chrome, I was shocked. I assumed that Internet Explorer was a core part of Windows, like a part of the operative system. I had no idea that it could be replaced. Microsoft has a habit of creating the bare minimum apps and then keeping them bare minimum without any innovation until somebody comes in and replaces them. And then they start thinking of how to rival them. And they always fail. Other reasons that have led to Steam's popularity is that they have done a lot of consumer-friendly things that the other competitors both on PC and consoles, have not done, even to this day. One really good example is the Complete the Collection bundles. If you already own a game, you only have to pay for the rest of the games within the bundle. On other platforms, bundles don't work this way. You have to pay for the whole thing even if you own half the content of that bundle. Steam also has that type of bundle, but they let the publisher choose if they want to go with the former or latter, and most publishers choose the former. I also like to bring up that deep discounts, from what I remember, were first popularized by Steam, and so was the idea of selling your games on third-party websites using keys. The other platforms have caught up to these practices today, but Valve was still ahead of this time. Some of these features have perhaps cost Valve money in the short term, but it has made them a lot more money in the long term. In other words, Valve has lost some battles, but they have won the war. Thank you for watching.